I think it comes as no surprise to anyone when I say that 2020 has been an extremely unexpected year that has brought on a lot of change that we otherwise could never have predicted. There have been a lot of shifts this year, especially in relation to how we view ourselves and our relationships with each other, our communities, and society as a whole, and where we see ourselves. I think there's been a lot of introspection. I think people have really had to look within themselves and figure out, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want to put into the world, and this is what my priorities are. I think that with this absolute roller coaster of a year, people have been really looking forward to 2021 and the shift of the new year as kind of like the point for, okay, this is when things are going to change. This is when we're finally going to go on an upswing. Of course, unfortunately, time doesn't really work like that, but I do want to think about the new year as kind of a moment for us to be able to check in with ourselves and use it as kind of like a reset button. This is what happened throughout the last year, and this is what we're going to take with us into 2021 to make it hopefully a very successful year. Number one, leave the things that you don't want to take with you in 2020. Whether that is in your mind space, whether that is just thoughts that you don't want to have mentally, but also I want to take it very literally and take this moment as a chance to declutter. So I recently moved into a new room, which means I didn't have a ton of stuff, but I did have a bunch of things that we've been keeping since I was a child in storage. And so I wanted to take this time to kind of go through all of those wonderful memories, all of those wonderful objects, and maybe find a way to store those things more efficiently so that it isn't just like a huge pile of stuff that I probably won't be looking at that much. So I personally started with my clothes because I noticed that there were a lot of pieces that I love to wear a lot, and that also meant that there were a lot of things hanging over there that I just almost never touched. And I realized that instead of just leaving them there, I should get rid of them, either donate them or sell them, or just honestly take them out of the space because I just wasn't wearing them, so they weren't serving me a purpose. So I did all my laundry, I sorted all the types of pieces that I have, and I now finally have a wardrobe that's just kind of perfect for the season. It doesn't have too much, it doesn't have too little. It's just ideal for everyday wear. I'm not going out that much anyways, so it just has very, very practical items that I genuinely love wearing. And this doesn't only have to apply to physical objects like clothes or items or things that you've been storing, but you can also apply that to mindsets or things that you've been thinking about or ideas that you've had that are like, okay, this doesn't serve me anymore, I'm going to change it up for the new year. Okay, so an example of that. I'm currently a college student, which means that in the past year, I've thought a lot about jobs and internships and other like professional development type things. And I realized after I did my internship and another job that it is honestly not what I want to focus on for this next coming year. I will be in school full time all throughout the year, even during the summer. So it kind of gives me the space to be able to just focus on academics and just focus on developing who I am as a student and an artist. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on, and kind of leaving the whole stressful job search and like internship hustle to the side for now. Part 2, a cleared space equals a fresh mind. And for me, a clear space means that everything that I have surrounding me, every visual object that's in my room is like there and placed how I want it to be, and it looks aesthetically pleasing to me. Everything is cleaned up, my sheets are done, everything's washed. All those things that I feel like contribute to like, okay, my room is here, it's done, it's ready to go, I can just enjoy it. That's what a clear space is to me. And because I've been moving more into like a minimalist aesthetic, for me that means very little things, just like things that I love, like my art and my little fake plant right there. But for you watching this, it might be completely different. It might mean art everywhere, like stuff that you love, mementos all over your walls and stuff like that. And I think that's super wonderful. So I guess in this sense, I would define a clear space as putting everything that you want around you in the spaces that you want them to be in, and in a way where it like most inspires you, doesn't bring you any stress, and it just kind of allows your mind to be creative or to be open, and it like facilitates idea generation. All right, now that you're working with a wonderful physical space setup, we can spend some time reflecting on the past year. So I know that this is a big one, and I know that it can be time consuming, but I do think it's important for goal setting and figuring out what you want to do in your next steps. So what I'm going to do is we're going to work with the magical number 3. I'm going to give you 3 points to focus on, and then for each of those, I want you to list 3 things that fall into those categories. So these are very simple, and for the first one, I want you to write down 3 things that worked out really well for you. The second one is 3 things that you felt didn't really work out so well. And the last one is 3 things that you learned throughout the year. So those questions sound really simple, but they are an amazing way to do some self-reflection and also act as a wonderful starting point for setting up some goals for the next year. So now that we've done some reflection for part 4, what I want you to do is look at what you wrote down and then figure out which habits you would love to implement for the next year. So for example, one of the things that I learned this past year is that I wish I had more knowledge about the things that I'm passionate about. I'm really into design and art and technology, but when I look at like the knowledge that I have on those specific subjects, I realize that I want to immerse myself more into those areas. So how that point from the what I learned section translates into a habit is that I now know that I need to spend more time doing research about art and tech and maybe look into some more festivals and incorporate design. What that does is like, it helps me be able to set the goal like, okay, every single week I want to spend about an hour doing some research through podcasts, or I want to create a document that lists all of the valuable articles that relate to the things that I'm interested in, and every day I'm going to add more and also read one from the top. And that's a simple way to create a habit that really incorporates your life and what you've learned from the past year and the things that you want to take with you into 2021. And so now for the last point, number 5, it is to create something new for yourself or for your space. And this one I really wanted to incorporate because it reminds me a lot of the notion of making up your bed as the first thing you do in the morning, because it really stimulates your brain as like, yes, I was able to accomplish something, and it sets you up really positively for your day. So I want to do the same thing for our lives. For me, that might be creating music or like recording a new song or creating a painting. The idea is really to encourage you to take some time for yourself, and especially some creative time, so that you can start off your year putting something that you're proud of into the world, whether that be putting it out into the world just for yourself and for your own eyes only, or if you want to share it globally or on the internet or wherever you want, honestly. I just think that creating something at the beginning and the end of the year is an incredible way to bring everything full circle, and also just a nice way to give you a fresh start to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve for the upcoming year. So those are some tips that I have and some things that I've been implementing into my own life to create a fresh start and a reset for 2021. I hope that you like them, and I hope that they help you with whatever it is that you want to do for your own personal reset or your own personal fresh start for 2021. Feel free to share with me what your goals are, what habits you hope to like implement for the next year. Please let me know in the comment section down below, and we can kind of share and keep each other accountable on those things that we want to do. So yeah, let me know, and if you like this video, then make sure to hit that like button so that I know. I post videos every week about lifestyle and my college life, and generally want to create positive vibes. So if you want to stick around, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the very next video. Bye!